Hi, good morning. It's Jim from Mavstar. Elon Musk is very worried about human population declining. You know, that people are choosing not to have children anymore. And I just wanted to, in this video, look a little bit deeper into what he's talking about. So there's a very popular, to start off with, there's a very popular acronym in China right now, and it's called DINK. And what that stands for is double income, no children. So, or no kids. That's the acronym that is going around in China right now. So people are better off if they've got no children, and they're better off if they have a partner with an income. So, they can get by just about. And, I guess this also was an issue that began somewhere in the 1960s, 70s in the UK, where women demanded equal rights. And of course, the government very quickly learned that if we can give these women the equal rights, then we also have an opportunity to tax these women and therefore double the tax revenues. And that's where we are right now. But the big problem, what Elon Musk has recognised, is that if nobody is having children, then humanity is on its way out. It could become extinct at some point if it really grabs a hold. But is the big thing, Elon Musk also knows what makes people go for something. And of course people are going to go for DINK because it enables them to have a roof over their head, a very limited small amount of luxuries in life, but no commitment to reproducing. And of course, we could wipe out our existence if nobody tomorrow in the whole world decided to have kids. We would become extinct in around about 90 years from now. And people are going for this. So, this is insane on one hand, but you can understand on the other hand why people are going for it. Children are a burden on the family and the family income. And, I was looking at also some videos with what's going on in America. This guy, and I think they had a combined income of about £140,000, which some people would consider is more than enough to live on. But 50,000 of that went on child care whilst the other person was working. So pretty much what his wife earned, she had an income just over 50,000, but what she was working for was the child care, and just that little bit extra made the difference. People will look at this scenario and see that it's not sustainable and therefore no longer an option, and they will definitely go out the way to avoid pain. And what I mean by that is that the governments around the world have made it pain for people to have children, and it will be their shortfall because, as people choose not to have children and reproduce, eventually their tax revenues will decline and their countries in turn will collapse. And that is a reality of what we are witnessing right now. And that is something that Elon Musk is going on about when he talks about, his concerns with the levels of reproduction. Another thing that Elon Musk mentioned in this interview that I was just watching is that wealth is a storage of services and labour, because at the end of the day, that's what you are using your money for. that's very intelligent for him to work that out. You know, I've got to take my hat off to him, because I've never thought about having large quantities of money in a bank and it only being a representation of labour and services. But it is absolutely 100% true. You know, that's all it represents, because if you buy something, you've brought somebody's labour that made that thing or that service that you required at that time. So if you have a bank full of digits, you know, and lots of zeros after the numbers, you know, it's just a stockpile of labour and services that you can call on when you want. Okay, you might not grasp that idea, but think about it. You go out for a nice steak meal with Diane sauce, mashed potatoes, or, you know, roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings, this, that and the other on that meal. Somebody's making it and they're providing a service, so it's labour and service. Now, if you live in a world where it becomes incompatible for you to have children because it's a financial burden, that will definitely be a detriment to your way of life. You're going to avoid that, and people are going to do this, and people already are in their millions doing this. They are avoiding having children because it's becoming a burden on their livelihoods. And the only way that they can sit in the house on the evening in the pyjamas, in the comfortable clothes that they like to walk around the house in, not wearing makeup, you know, if you're a woman, you know, just being relaxed, watching Netflix in the bed with maybe a packet of Haribos, is if you don't have children. Because if you have children, it changes everything from that point on out. You know, not only that, if you decide to look after that child, one of your team members of your household, your partner, has got to stay at home and look after that child. And that becomes a burden on the income. That means the luxuries are massively reduced in some circumstances. So, you know, we're setting ourselves up to fail, regardless. That's my point. And Elon Musk realises that, and I give two good examples why that was. First of all, you know, a good reason not to have children is because it's a financial burden, and that requires one person out of the two to not go to work. And there is one other, you know, there is another aspect as well. If you're in banking and you're lending money out, DINK is obviously a great thing. You know, double income, no kids. What that means is the bank knows that this couple have more of a chance of paying back that loan than a couple with children or kids. So the reason why I've done this video is to give you a glimpse of this, which is happening right now, and it's going to become more popular. But inevitably, the government thought it was a great idea to tax the other half of human beings, which were the women, and encourage them to go to work and encourage them to be single, because single people are better than couples, because two single people are paying both poll taxes, income taxes, and, you know, it's going to the government. You know, road tax on the vehicles, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's twofold. So governments love it, but they don't see what they're doing in the long term is actually reducing the population of the current country. And like I say, this DINK acronym came from China. Remember that. One of the biggest populations on the earth, soon to be overtaken by India, which will soon pick up, you know, what has been put down by China as you know, a platform on how to exist in a better life. And that's what most human beings are trying to do here on the earth. We would happily have lots of children. Couldn't be anything better than that. But if it becomes a financial burden, as it has become right now, people are going to back away from the idea of that. But the idea of backing away from reproducing is, you know, a leading to a total devastating end to a species. And we are willfully walking into that. Because I know from what I've seen on my channel, you know, when we talk about the survival of the channel, survival of the observatory, what it requires, you know, funding for this, you know, funding for that. We can't do it all on their own. We can't leave it down to one person. You know, I have seen people do that. And what we're watching is people, you know, with that same mentality, which seems to be a very natural mentality of survival and looking after ourselves, you know, walk through that door. And that's why I did this video. You know, I want you to know, you know, the repercussions of those actions. But I also understand that it's being forced upon you because you've got no other alternative route, and the government hasn't provided an alternative route for you to continue, you know, regenerating children at this point in time. So we are going to become extinct if this carries on. You know, if the governments keep being, you know, expanding, if the governments aren't, you know, more diligent in using the taxpayers' money, then what we're going to see is a progressive decline in human beings. And the worst thing about this is getting back to the things that we normally talk about on this channel. You know, we are returning back into a glacial period, 100%. You know, it can't be denied by any scientist with, you know, a bit of grey matter. And we are also going for a magnetic reversal, which is changing the climate. So human beings are facing, you know, on many levels, you know, lots of opportunities to fail. You know, I love each and every one of you guys for staying with me over these years. I know some of you have been with me over 10 years, and, you know, I have the utmost respect for that. And I know a lot of you have supported what we've tried to do and keep trying to do. And, you know, I'm so grateful. And I'm going to end it on this note. You know, there's a link down there in the description. You want to help what we do at Mavstar? There's your opportunity. And, you know, we also have patrons who I want to thank. But most of all, you know, I just want you to take care of your loved ones. And stay tuned. As always, bye for now.